So, as I was going into work yesterday, I saw the same report, the same announcement that many of you guys have already seen. Kevin Stefanski has given a play calling, and this is a huge, huge deal with the Browns. Now, I have seen many different people say there's just give different reactions to this and different meanings as to why Kevin Stefanski has given up play calling. Some people say, offense hasn't been clean, so that's why he just decided to move on from play calling. Other people have tried to do more conspiratorial things and say that Jimmy Haslam forced Kevin Stefanski to give up play calling. Um, and with like a lot of different things with the Browns, there's 55 different thousand theories. Many of which have some partial truths. Some of them are outright lies. Um, but I kind of wanted to talk about what I think is going on with the Cleveland Browns in terms of the play calling duties. Why Kevin Stefanski decided now, after Deshaun Watson got injured, why did he decide now to give up calling the plays? Um, and I'll just start by saying that I guess I'm a little confused as well. I know some people have brought this up, but I guess I'm confused as well as to why would you make the change of play caller when the entire point of bringing Ken Dorsey into Cleveland was to create an offense and a spread offense, an RPO style offense surrounding the skill sets, the former past skill sets of Deshaun Watson. Now you're going to give up play calling duties, and you're going to give the play caller the call sheet, the play sheet, to the guy that you brought in for a quarterback that has just been injured for the rest of the year and possibly for the next half a year, next season. And I think those are legitimate questions. The timing doesn't really make much sense. But my thing is, I don't think that we're going to see that much of a difference between what we've been seeing the last couple of weeks with Kevin Stefanski calling plays and with Ken Dorsey calling plays. I saw Quincy Carrier did a video yesterday about this topic, basically showing that play action will still be used in with Ken Dorsey being the play caller. Maybe not as much as Kevin Stefanski, but his hypothesis was that this is all just a procedural thing, and this is to streamline the process of getting the plays in and getting guys ready to go. Now, which I will say this: every single time I've been watching the Browns this season, and you guys probably have noticed it too. Every single time when Deshaun was in shotgun or in trying to get the plays going, when they're trying to line up, every single time without fail, I always saw the Deshaun would have to be, telling where the running back to go, like which side of the hip he's supposed to be on, telling Elijah Moore or whatever receiver, no, you're not supposed to be in slot, go outside, or just tell him where to line up. And I don't know if that's on Kevin Stefanski. I don't know if that's on Ken Dorsey. I have no idea who that's on. I don't know if that's on the receiving coach. I don't know if that's on the running back coach. I have no idea. But obviously, Browns fans around the world knew that there had to be a change with the play calling. There had to be a change with whatever the Browns were doing. And we were told this beforehand by many different reporters like Diana Rossini, Zach Jackson, a bunch of other guys about how practice and training camp and all this other stuff with the Browns this season, before the season started, was very, very weak, very, run of the mill, nothing really too insane. A lot of people were like, is this team even going to be ready for this season? Like, what's going on? Like, why? Like, nothing's happening. And I think we've seen for the last 7 weeks that the Browns, throughout this entire process this season, have whatever their offensive philosophy was, whatever Kevin Stefanski decided to do was not working. It wasn't working. So I think this is an effort to try and see, hey, we got nothing to lose. Might as well here. I'll give up play calling sheet. Go at it, Ken. Go at it. Now, a lot of people are trying to look into this and say, well, Kevin says that calling plays is his favorite thing about being a head coach. Well, if you're going to take away his favorite thing about being a head coach, does that mean he's going to get fired at the end of the year? And that's what some people are saying. Now, personally, I don't really see this happening. I know some people said this was going to be the case, that, because they're giving up play calling duties, because Jimmy Haslam forced Kevin Stefanski to give up play calling duties, that means that he's going to get fired at the end of the year. I don't think that's going to happen. If it does happen, I think that's a gigantic mistake. I think you guys already know what I feel about Kevin Stefanski. I think he deserves a lot of criticism for the way he's handled this season, for a lot of criticism for his decision making on offense this season. But do I think that he is the main guy to be criticized or to be put on the chopping block for why this team has failed? No, I really don't. And, there's a lot of people, there's some people, very vocal people on social media for the Browns who do not like Kevin Stefanski. I see you guys in the comment section of my videos. I see you guys in comments of other people's videos and other people's social media posts. I do not think Kevin Stefanski is the main problem with this football team. Is he one of the problems this year? Absolutely. Absolutely. You cannot, even if you're the staunchest Kevin Stefanski fan, you cannot say that Kevin Stefanski has not had his moments of absolute just buffoonery this year. You just can't say that. That's not an argument. That's not an honest argument you can make. But personally, I don't think that him giving up play calling means he's going to get fired at the end of this year. Now, I think now that you're getting into the point where season's already done, you're not going to make the playoffs, I think what you're going to see is, who do we have on the roster? Who do we have on the coaching staff that is going to be here next year? Because with Kevin Stefanski, you already have, at least in my opinion, you already have the built-in success with him. You've already seen he's capable of getting you to the playoffs. He's capable of winning double-digit games in a season. He's capable of working with 5 different quarterbacks and getting you to the playoffs. Like, he's shown it's not like he is some incompetent guy. Kevin Stefanski has shown in the past, not saying this year, in the past, has been able to make the most out of literally nothing, out of one of the worst situations that you can possibly have as an NFL franchise, and somehow try and make something out of it, right? He's making lemonade out of lemons, especially after last year. After Deshaun goes down, you're playing PJ Walker, playing DTR, playing Joe Flacco, who's coming in off the couch. Then you put in Jeff Driscoll at the end of the year. I mean, Kevin Stefanski has a track record of success. Now, I think right now with this move from getting off of play calling, I think this is more of an onus on Ken Dorsey, because Ken Dorsey was brought in the offseason to create an offense built around Deshaun Watson's skill sets. And I know it was a collaboration between Kevin and Ken Dorsey, and the collaboration failed. The experiment absolutely failed. It blew up in their face. I think this is an opportunity for Ken Dorsey, while he's got the play calling sheet for the rest of the year, to make his case for why he should not be fired at the end of the year. I think this is more of an onus on Ken Dorsey, because, like I said, I'm going to say it again, he was brought in to create an offense, a high-powered offense for Deshaun Watson, more shotgun formations, dagger concepts, all that stuff. And it has not worked. So now this is all on Ken Dorsey to try and show, the Browns, hey, I'm worth coming back next year. I'm worth bringing back next year. My offense, works. My offense works. Now, personally, I don't think it does. I think it's not a fit for this Cleveland Browns team, at least with the personnel that we have right now. But this is an opportunity for Ken Dorsey to show, hey, my offense has some concepts that works. Maybe with Jameis Winston as quarterback, I'll be able to finally show like, hey, our offense is fine, just that the guy at the helm was not working. That's my thing on this, and I also think this is also an opportunity. The spotlight's going to be on Andrew Berry the rest of the season, guys. That's who I think has been kind of left out of this. A lot of people have been talking about Kevin Stefanski at least giving up the play calling, and that it's all, wow, they're going to be focusing on Kevin Stefanski. And that's true to some extent, right? But the rest of the season, I think, for at least me, I'm going to be focused on Andrew Berry because now you're in an audit position. The Browns are auditing who they're bringing back next year and who's good on the team and who's not a good football player. And if many of Andrew Berry's picks don't make it, and if they're not doing really well, as you know what we've been seeing this year, then Andrew Berry's fucked. Andrew Berry he's in a tough spot. I think that's the main thing that I think many people aren't really taking into account, because I think now, whether it was Jimmy Haslam telling Kevin to give up play calling and give it to Ken Dorsey, whether it was Kevin himself who said that he gave it up on his own volition, right now the Browns are in an audit. They're auditing who is to blame and who's not to blame. If the Browns suddenly go out there with Ken Dorsey as play caller and they start scoring, 25 points a game, and they go on like a magical run, they win, seven of their last, how many games we got? 10? 7 of their last 10. They go 7-3. They go 8-9. Then yeah, questions are going to have to be asked about Kevin Stefanski in play calling. Now, do I think he gets fired because of that? I don't really think so. I think maybe Kevin Stefanski just stays on as head coach, and then Ken Dorsey has earned himself a job next season with the Browns, or maybe he goes somewhere else. But then the opposite can happen if everything goes bad, everything still stays the same, or somehow by horrible circumstances, somehow they get worse. I have no idea how they can get worse, but somehow maybe there's a possibility it can get worse with Ken Dorsey as play calling, and you lose the rest of your games. Maybe you go 2-15, God forbid, or 3-14, God forbid. Then I think personally, you get more of, I think Kevin Stefanski gets his hot seat is going to be insane next year. I don't think he should be fired. I think he should get one more year with a different quarterback who runs under his system. But Ken Dorsey for sure is fired, because the offense the player that he was supposed to be here for is gone. He's not going to be back next year. At least he's not going to be probably starting next year if this Browns team was ran competently. And then Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry's talent has been pretty much lackluster except for a couple of players. I think, for me personally, Andrew Berry is on the hottest seat right now, at least for me. Ken Dorsey is right there with him. So, like I said, I think this is more of an onus on Ken Dorsey to try and prove himself that, hey, my offense works, my school of offense works, and it was just Deshaun that was the main issue. Deshaun was the main issue. I can have Jameis Winston in there, we can be fine. And then Andrew Berry also has pressure on him, because now that the Browns are trying to figure out who's good and who's not, now Andrew Berry's like, oh shit, I really hope that my guys come out and play well now that there's some change in the coaching staff, now that there's a little bit of a strategy change, and now that Jameis Winston is in instead of Deshaun Watson, then maybe there's some pressure on Andrew Berry to say, hey, let's try and perform here, guys. Let's try and perform here, guys, because you know why? Got Haslam breathing but down my neck. I don't know. That's just my opinion, guys. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's never a dull moment as a Browns fan, huh? Never a dull moment. All right. Well, once again, guys, hit the like, subscribe if you're new, if you like this type of content, and I'll see you guys all in another video. Take care.